Hello again. How is everybody today? Hope you're doing well. Today we're gonna take a topic. And I often hear it spoken to me, revealed to me during readings. And it resounds with me because I also was labeled the black sheep of the family. And I think that phrase is more commonly used than not. So let's take a moment. Let's breathe deep, short breaths, long breaths. And let's think about ourselves, our journeys, where we have been and where we're going. Now, today's topic is not an easy one. I mean, it's hard to admit to yourself and to others certain things, you must say. I mean, and certain things you just grow out of. Like if you had an uncomfortable experience growing up, well, you move on, right? That's what you're told, to move on. And that's always good. Moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on. Okay, so that's how we grow. However, how much do we really move on? And then there are always, along our journeys, we always meet someone who presses our points in that same vein, sensitivity vein of a particular phrase or experience that you'd rather not exactly be associated with. I mean, you can wear that, like the black sheep of the family, the black sheep badge with robust bravado. I am black sheep. Well, this is expected. I mean, there's a culture in U.S. and I'm sure other places as well, Western culture, of labeling children when they're young as either the rebels, the rebels are in fact the black sheep. And because if you are born into a family circle, let's say a family circle, and you do not prescribe, or you have some questions about that family circle, that your opinion may or may not matter. It depends. It depends. And how do you, and the more your actions, you go, this is not important, or this is like irrelevant. And some people don't understand that children are born as whole beings, not something that has to be fed like a plant with ideas and propaganda. No, they know you are born with a sense of right and wrong because you were born from the divine creator. And that's an important thing to realize. You are you because the divine creator gave you these gifts, gave you your insight. However, people that are putting, parents from all different class levels and occupations seem to discard that realization quite easily. I mean, they forget. They forget. And it takes an observer and a seeing person, not just looking, to understand growth. Growth. So let's just start throwing some cards and see how do you outgrow that black sheep label? All right? Black sheep of the family. Well, the easiest way is to split. I'm out of here as soon as I'm able. But since the legal age is basically 18, you have 18 years. Put 18 times 360. You can even go 18 times 400. It's a lot of time. And then the days go into hours, go into seconds. And my God, you're like, you need the strength of Hercules, a Herculean type of effort to like even move one teeny molehill of that residue, of that baggage. Okay, so now let's see now, how would we go about removing, let's start like spirits. Let's examine why black sheep, even that label, even exists, and how to like get rid of it. Well, let's just see. There's two questions in one. So this could either resound either way. How do you even get rid of that black sheep label? What is? I mean, how do we? How do we wake up one day and go, no, no, I refuse to like deal with this. I refuse. And if you're going to be calling me the black sheep, and of course you can have all your spiel when I'm a child, but now I grown up. It's like boring. Okay, so let's just see what the spirits have to say. Okay, so we have the work card. You can almost imagine that you have your work cut out for yourself. How to get rid of that black sheep label. You can be very diligent in work. You could be very concise. And then, of course, since you were the black sheep of the family, maybe you have an occupation that they did not like, or they refuse to acknowledge that it's worthwhile labor. And even if it is worthwhile labor, they will go, oh, maybe that's not secure, it's not stable, or that's, you could do much better. You could do much better. Okay? Instead of just appreciating that you are enterprising. It could be. Or it could be the amount of work we have to go through to get rid of the label. Whatever resounds to you, please feel it. And if it doesn't, let it go. Now, the Queen of Cups. That could be the maternal nurturing you received during this label. The emotion was, overwhelming into trying to accept. You do it this way. And you were, no, I'll do it my way. No, do it this way. No, I'll do it my way. And then apathy probably set in and go, oh, you just look at criticism. That could have been the Queen of Cups. And so eventually you just kept to yourself. And but the Queen of Cups, the emotional side of it, keep on giving and giving and giving. And of course, now we have the ego, the Four of Pentacles. All right. We have the Four of Pentacles. Now, this could be your ego as a child. However, since it is the big ego, it was probably the ego of the family, the unit that you were born into. And this, no matter what, as I said, whatever, if you were white collar workers, maybe, they had to have a certain kind of suburban type of protocol and outlook. If you were born in the working class, there's certain, again, protocol and attitude to have. The ego of the system in which you were conceived in. School is another thing. The school you went to, the this, the that. Even if it was prep school, you still had a certain, if it was upper class or lower class or middle class, you still had the levels of which you were prescribed to conform to before you even knew that they were like levels of existence. And then again, once you know that there are levels of existence, what kind of existence? On any of the 8 or so levels of existence. I mean, you can have every single thing you want. People can be envious of your lifestyle, but you can be hollow and weepy and empty inside that life. There's so many things you do not know when the door is closed. The environment is different from looking from the Look, it's different from the inside out, and then from the outside in. So one never knows what persecution or what praises another one receives, as long as you look like you're well dressed, clean, well fed. Society almost steps back and goes, it's none of my business. However, we're talking about the black sheep label. Now, let's say your family's into finance. You were born in a financial position, company, family, and you have no interest in securities, economics. Then and you had a more interest towards something else. Then you were entitled. You were the black sheep of that family. If you were born in a family of carpenters, of tradespeople, but you were more into mathematics, more into like an academic book type thing, and then since you weren't following in the trades and you would more, instead of like doing with a saw or a drill, you were more intent and comfortable with a book. You were the black sheep of the family. These are the things you did not follow the prescription. All right, so we already know there's different types of how you can be labeled the black sheep. Also, too, in the line of succession, how you were born. If you were born in a family of 6 or 5 or 4, firstborn has this responsibility. Second, everybody's supposed to follow the firstborn. And if you really did not feel like being a follower, you had your own path, then you were the black sheep. So there's so many levels of black sheephood. But the word phrase, it sticks in everybody's guts. It sticks. It's still here. I think it's like it's as standard as Independence Day. Using that word Independence Day. It's standard. It's colonialistic. It's fairy tale. It's fairy tale. Isn't there Baba Black Sheep? Um, so let's see. How do we remove? How do we remove the black sheep label from all those different types of situations? All those different types of. Oh, I'm suffocated by being around these people, type of thing. And of course, you have to wait till you're at least 18. You can run away, that's true, but they can find you and bring you back. All right, so let's see. Random cards. How does this? We're going to use another deck, and we're going to see how we can start to remove all that we already discussed. How to remove that label. Okay, 1, 2. All right, and the third random card. We'll go to this one. All right. Now, how do we remove that black sheep label? Oops, and I don't like to deal with this way because I don't like to live. All right, black sheep label. We have the queen. Another thing, we have the Queen of Cups again. All right, now I guess, and we have it over the work card. All right, so this entails confidence. This entails bringing the outside world, bringing the outside world without that label into your life. Fill yourself with people, situations that are not connected to the label producing sector of your experience. Usually that means looking at your parents almost as though you were their parents. It means taking a few steps ahead in your evolution. It means seeing them clearly, not as authoritarian light posts. No, as people. They're trapped in their own propagandas, which everyone has a propaganda. Not everyone, but a lot do. And seeing, are they running on autopilot, or are they like a fire, like a bonfire outside that's that's constantly burning and freely and so forth and so on. In other words, seeing where they get their zest and their where are they getting their feed from? Where are they getting their feed? And where you're going to get your feed from, where are you going to find your light, your emotional stability? Your emotional stability, you choose. We all choose our emotional stability. Sometimes we're lucky, we get the good draw, and we can have guidance while growing up that give us the ability to find our own Queen of Cups, our own center. The Queen of Cups is our own center. Even as a little child, you know this is right and this is wrong. And the choice. Now here, here we have almost like a grief. We have the Five of Cups. It's grieving for the fact that we did not get what we needed at an early age. Remember, the Mother of Cups. You are not, do what everybody else does. Follow this, do that, do that. Oh, you're nothing, the nagging, the nagging you received until you conformed. But did you conform? No. It was a grief. It was torn. It was almost schizophrenic, because you knew in your heart what you had to do. You knew in your soul what you had to do. And it is accepting that the before and the after cannot be together. You have to cut your own path. You have to be strong. Say goodbye to, it's hard, but you have the strength. It's hard. Now, the big ego, the big kahuna, the big ego of like, this is what our family does, and we all do this, and this is us. Now, because you did not follow their line, no matter what it was, like either if you're feminine, you're a girl, and you had a family of boys, you were the girl. You weren't as important as boys, or you didn't follow your older brother or your older sister. You there's only one way, her way, his way. You're doing your own thing. So that quest to find, this is my path, you become more skilled in the way. This is the magician, a skilled person. You learned to teach yourself what you needed to learn. You taught yourself to get beyond that big ego. It's like, no, the world is big, the world is vast. You may choose and I may choose. That's called maturity. That's called coexistence. And if they cannot handle the coexistence, well, that's where you know that you must close the door, because you must not sacrifice your self-respect for somebody else's comfort, somebody else's pleasure, somebody else's idea of who you are. You are who you are because you want to be that way, not because somebody else has said you're not worthy. You are worthy of a beautiful life. You are worthy of divine energy. You are divine energy. You are divine energy. You are not just a biped, four-chambered heart, muscular system walking around. No, you have the Creator's energy, the Creator's light. You have blessing. You are blessing. You are a blessing. On this earth, we walk with blessings. Yes, at times it's difficult. However, we are here because we have things to do, things to give, things to share. Some people just share misery. Somewhere along the line, maybe because they never found their true self, develop their true self, or they developed a self that was like impeded or perfected by the ego of the structure they were born into, that they become, they're still damaged. They're damaged. And then maybe they weren't even the black sheep of the family, but they could say to others, you are the black sheep of the family. Now, let's take one more. Let's go to the pagan kitties. As you know, I am a cat freak. And I love my pagan kitties. Alright. Now, let's take a moment. And we don't need labels. No. Labels are for commercial products. For consuming, for the consumer to consume. I wish to share. I wish to give. I wish to help my community. I wish to help others. I am not food for you to consume. No. Sharing. I want to build. I want to gather. I want to do these things. Now let's take this last reading right here and find out just quickly the final thing. We understand. It's popped out. Let's stick it back in. We understand just, we can begin to get rid of, for those of us who have gotten rid of their black sheep labels and they don't even think about it, but it is still true. As I said, some people still have it, and it's not necessary. It's not necessary. So, all right. 1, let's see now. 2, 3. All right. Now, as for you who still struggling with the label of black sheep label, let's hope these pussycats, these pagan cats, this pagan cat deck can give us some insight as to the final piece de resistance. Okay, here we go. Now, okay, on top of that, we have the world. No, we have the fool. We have the fool. We have the fool. Be whom you wish to be. Be whom you are. Don't be afraid. People may call you the fool, but you know what you're doing. You're smelling. You're living. You're doing what you want. You're going in the direction that is good for you. And so what if someone calls you a fool? Are they in your skin? No. Now, this one says, be mindful of being shunned. Be mindful of being shunned when they do not want to give up the label. Do not want to give up the label. That's the same mother urge, the same initial nurturing thing that says the nag, 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 or the parents setting the guidelines, and then you having to make the separation. And then whenever you meet them, it's not going to change. Remember that it's not going to change. But don't go up that tree. No. Remember the energy level. It's not going to change. And that's the way it is. Accept it. And then here we have the devil. A little uncanny alchemy into the mix. Well, when you're dealing with like a super ego and you have developed your own skill level, it's almost as though it's a tug of war. So it's saying that beware of any like trips people play, and also too, it's almost like a one of those like online games, almost like an online game. And there is a lot to be aware of, which is when we have the You must just be wary and be on your toes. As the Fool card says, be on your toes to like the games that are being played. That's all. Do not let your guard down, and just be aware that labels only exist in the minds of those who practice them. Right? Reality is the ether. The ether is malleable. It's molding. If you do not play their games, they will give games. Do not play their games. The games are irrelevant. And they're games. Turn them off. Turn them off. Games. Whether it be family, friends, employment, do not play their games. Pray to the spirits. Pray to the Holy Spirit for guidance. Right? So, anyway, if that was any help getting rid of those stupid labels, and particularly we're talking about being called names, name calling, just have you have any comments, please leave in the comment section if you had any experience like this at all. I mean, it passes. And yes, you have to make decisions about what kind of contact you're going to have, things like that. And you must be strong, and you can change yourself, but you cannot change other people. That's just unless they want to join you. And generally, that may or may not that doesn't happen. You just have to cut out. You just have to cut out a new spirit. If somebody's not going to give you self-respect, poof, that's it. That's it. At least, and if you just don't want to go poof, totally, at least keep it manageable and like, yes, as expected. As expected. Thank you for that saying that. That's as expected. So, to my subscribers, thank you, and I hope that some of my readers, my friends that I gave readings to, I hope they watch this and understand that name calling is just that, name calling, and it exists, and many of us have had that experience, and you're not alone, and you have to make certain decisions. So, hey, thumbs up, rock on, and go to the beat of life. Go to the beat of life. All right, go to the beat of life. Thank you.